Hey, good morning, Facebook world and friends and followers. On a walk again, and y'all are always in trouble, I guess, when I go on a walk on a beautiful day, specifically, because that's when my mind seems to run the healthiest, and then I feel compelled to just share thoughts, not because I think I'm an expert or have anything profound, but just realizing more and more that when I have thoughts, and better yet, when I have questions that I realize I'm struggling with, not necessarily struggling in a bad way, struggling with in a healthy way, that I'm not the only one, right? We find out even when we think we're alone in a lot of this stuff, we're not. So here I am on another walk with my main dog, Kramer, and just sitting here thinking about, going through Thanksgiving, looking ahead towards Christmas and the holidays, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays if Christmas isn't your thing, and just thinking about Thanksgiving and thankfulness, right? People may be tired of hearing messages about thankfulness, but I guess if you don't want to listen, you can turn it off. But anyhow, just realizing that the last two Thanksgivings have been different for me from the standpoint of recognizing how thankful I am, even for the tough moments. It's real easy to kind of set back and think about the good moments and express gratitude and thankfulness for those. And this year I'm realizing that the struggle of the tough moments have been my biggest learning and growth moments. Just thinking about times like my first real failure in my career, working at a place and falling way short of what I had hoped and what was hoped of me, and what happened there. It didn't feel good. It didn't end like I hoped. I wish it could have gone and would have gone differently. And at the same time, it's not time wasted. The lessons I've learned about how I get in my own way of doing and being my best have been huge. And they've not only served me well since that failure, but they also serve well the people that I love, lead, and coach. Because I've been there. I know how to help better. I know better how to help people process around, not just when they do fail, but even the fear of failure. And because I've been through it, it helps me be more understanding. And support them and guide them through it. And so today I just want to say I'm thankful, not just for the good times and the blessings that I have, but also for the really rough times through which I learn, grow, and become a better version of myself, kind of that next level, right? That's the words people like to say is leveling up. It's more about just growing and becoming more of who I am and who I was meant to be. And probably the biggest thing that I've been struggling with that the struggles have brought me lately is this idea of seeking truth versus seeking to be right. And just recognizing how often I and all of us get into these spots where we get so emotionally charged about things, and it's not terrible to get emotionally charged if we keep it all in perspective, right? But just how often I and we get into spaces, places, mindsets, and things because our focus is wanting to be right or figure out what is right, rather than humbling ourselves and simply seeking truth. And we can see this all over our world right now, right? Where so many of us are so focused on being right that we let that emotional charge lead us to alienating people, lead us to turning people off, not listening, lead us to conversations, thoughts, mindsets, arguments that are all about being right rather than looking to seek truth. Somehow we get in our mind that we've got to convince people of things, and when we stop and think about it, our job really isn't to convince anyone of anything, but to seek truth, number one, and then to demonstrate it, right? As we know truth, it may sound like I'm talking kind of cryptically. So to get a little bit more specific, one of the things that breaks my heart right now is the way, as someone who aspires to follow Christ and to develop a more intimate relationship with Him, and to continually learn how to live life in the way that He demonstrates and wants us to live. It's breaking my heart now when I see so many who consider, call, and are followers of Christ like myself. And we're so focused on wanting to be right that we forget to seek the truth, that we forget to lean into and constantly be, in the Word, in prayer, seeking a relationship with Christ, so that we can continue to learn more and more about the truth, His truth, and then to be an example of it to other people, not to try to convince them, but to be an example of it, to be a conduit of His love, of His grace, of His mercy. That's what Jesus did. I mean, Jesus came, whether you believe Jesus to be who I believe Him to be or not, who He said He is. I mean, you can't argue with the fact that as a leader, so impactful and treated people with love and grace. The very people, so many people in the church today want to condemn, He loved on. He didn't water down the truth, but He loved on them. He gave truth with grace. And the people He had the harshest words for were the religious, the over-religious, the people that knew His law, but didn't know the heart of the law. And so I don't mean to preach. I'll stop there because I don't mean to preach. But when I think about the whole truth versus right, and when I think about where we're at today, I'm thankful for my challenges and struggles around this, because I know what it creates in me is a desire to want to learn to not just love God more fully, but to love others more fully, just like He loves me, just like He loves all of us. And my desire is to hopefully see a church, a body of Christ, who is looking to love and to love well, not to water down any kind of truth or anything, but to love well, to focus on the part of it all that Jesus was focused on. And that was love, that was reconciliation, that was truth, right? So I'll stop there for today. And I just want to encourage you and ask you this question, again, wherever you fall with regards to faith and such. What would it look like if we all, each day, set out to focus on seeking truth versus seeking to be right? I don't share all this again because I'm an expert and have the answers, but because I'm a fellow traveler on the journey, hoping there's others on the journey with me that we can share and talk about and learn together with. So have a wonderful day. Hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Blessings. And I guess until the next walk.